Hi, I'm Justine, and this is my traumatic story at DCO Hospital. I had just started working as a night shift janitor at DCO Hospital, a decrepit, nearly abandoned facility on the outskirts of town. It wasn't exactly the dream job, but it paid the bills. The halls were eerily silent at night, save for the hum of flickering fluorescent lights and the occasional groan of ancient pipes. From the moment I stepped into the hospital, I felt it, an oppressive weight, as if the air itself was trying to crush me. But I brushed it off as nerves. That was until my second night. I was mopping the hallway near the old surgical wing when I heard it, a soft, haunting sob echoing through the empty corridor. I froze, gripping the mop handle like a weapon. "Hello?" My voice barely rose above a whisper. No answer, just the sound of something metallic clattering in the distance. Curiosity, or maybe stupidity, got the better of me, and I followed the noise. The surgical wing had been closed for years, its doors rusted shut, but one door was slightly ajar. A cold draft seeped through, carrying with it the scent of antiseptic and decay. Inside, the room was in ruins. Equipment covered in cobwebs, tiles cracked and stained with something I hoped was rust. Then I saw her. She was standing in the corner, her back to me, her long, matted black hair dripping with something dark. Her hospital gown was torn, and her emaciated frame seemed impossibly still. "Miss?" I managed to choke out. She turned, and my blood turned to ice. Her face was gaunt, her eyes sunken and hollow, but it was her smile that froze me. A wide, unnatural grin that stretched impossibly across her face. The lights flickered violently, and when they steadied, she was gone. I stumbled back into the hallway, my heart pounding, only to find that the mop I'd left in the bucket was now lying in the middle of the corridor, snapped in half. The next few nights were worse. She wasn't just appearing anymore, she was angry. Doors would slam shut behind me, locking me in rooms. Objects flew off shelves with terrifying force. Once, I found the words, "Get out," scrawled on a foggy mirror in the bathroom, even though I hadn't touched the sink. One night, I was cleaning the morgue, something I dreaded, when the temperature plummeted. My breath misted in front of me, and every hair on my body stood on end. I heard the sound of bare feet slapping against the cold tile floor. "Why are you here?" a voice rasped behind me. I turned, and there she was, inches from my face. Her eyes were pools of black and her mouth twisted in a grotesque snarl. She lunged at me, her icy hands clawing at my chest. I fell backward, slamming into a steel gurney. When I scrambled to my feet, she was gone, but the marks of her nails were etched into my skin. I tried to quit, but the hospital refused to let me go. Some bureaucratic nonsense about needing to work out my contract. Each night became a game of survival. I learned her name, Maria. She had died during a botched surgery years ago, and her spirit was restless, vengeful. Maria wasn't just haunting the hospital. She was trapped in it, reliving her pain and suffering. And now, she wanted me to feel it too. One night, I decided to fight back. Armed with a makeshift cross and a prayer I barely remembered, I entered the surgical wing. The air grew heavy, and the lights dimmed as I approached the room where she first appeared. "Maria!" I called out, my voice trembling. "I know your pain. I know you're suffering. But you don't have to hurt anyone anymore." For a moment, there was silence. Then, the room erupted into chaos. Equipment flew through the air, glass shattered, and Maria appeared, her face twisted in rage. But as I stood my ground, something changed. Her features softened, and for the first time I saw the woman she once was, terrified, broken, and desperate for release. "I'm sorry," she whispered, before fading into the darkness. That was my last night at DCO Hospital. I quit the next day, no longer caring about contracts or consequences. But sometimes, late at night, I still hear her voice, a faint whisper in the wind asking for forgiveness.